Hello, everyone. I am back. It's been a while. If you're new to the channel, I'm Rob. This is L Space Archives. So because it's been a while, obviously I have yet another book haul. Um, I'm going to try to go through these as fast as I can. There's quite a few. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to break it into two parts or not, but we'll see how much we get through and how long my voice lasts. But I know it's getting a bit ridiculous, so this is probably going to be the last book haul I do. I'm putting my foot down. From here on, no more buying books. I'm being serious. Okay, fine, but I want you to know you're all enablers. So before we get started, I do have a few updates. Personal news. Yes, I had my shoulder surgery a few weeks ago. After 3 months of antibiotics, I'm finally clear of that. Pathology report came back clear. The stitches have been removed, and I am back to 100%. So everything's good on that front. The only bad news is that there will be scarring, so I'm afraid my career as a shoulder model is coming to an end. It was good while it lasted. So let's move on to actual books. So the first thing I picked up was Edgar Rice Burroughs' Cave Girl. And I am a sucker for mapbacks. I only have a few of these, but whenever I see one, I always pick it up. And this is Adam Knight, Triple Slay. The beautiful brunette has a face and figure that could send a man to murder. Lights, camera, murder. And this all will have obviously mixed genre. So this is Earl Stanley Gardner, writing as A. Fair. Gardner most known for his Perry Mason books. Some Women Won't Wait. This is a Bertha Cool mystery. And this one is Michael Lay, who I'm not familiar with, but it is Rogue Errant. Highwayman, fugitive rogue, he paid for a night of pleasure at the point of a sword. My wife collects anything pirate and highwayman related, so I technically got this for her, but I will also definitely be reading it. This is a Frank Herbert, Under Pressure. I thought I already had this, but I checked my list and it does not appear I do. It says a spy story, a chase thriller, a psychological mystery rolled into one. Another one that I thought I had, but I was wrong, is The Black Star Passes by John W. Campbell. And this was purely a cover by, I don't know anything about this author. On the Eighth Day, Lawrence Ockham. a novel of nerve-shattering terror and nightmarish possibility. Um, Normally, I prefer my people in glass tubes, but I'll take them in any sort of glass container. And another one I thought I had was the book of Philip Jose Farmer, but evidently not. A book of collection of short stories. This one I was at Uncle Aldo's attic, and when I saw this, I immediately thought of Nick, the Book Graveyard, Street Rod, the eye-opening novel about street rodders, the kids who build and drive the stripped-down, souped-up bombs on wheels. And then this one is a Western, Frank Yerby, The Treasure of Pleasant Valley. A rousing tale of an adventurer in love with two untouchable women during California's gold rush. And this is Strange Gods, edited by Roger L. Wood, anthology. And yet another one that I swore I had, but I can't find it anywhere, is Joan DiVinci's The Snow Queen. And I thought I had the complete set of these, the whole trilogy, but evidently I was just watching somebody else's channel and I didn't have any of them. So now I need to find the other two. This is Gordon R. Dickson, Time Storm. And then I found these next two. These were at our local library sale. The 7% Solution. And the sequel, The West End Horror. And this is from the Fantastic Worlds of A. Merritt, 7 Footprints to Satan. The American explorer was catapulted into a strange and seductive world of evil ruled by Satan himself. Another sci-fi, this is The Yellow Fraction by Rex Gordon. I feel like I saw somebody talking about this not too long ago. And I don't remember what they said about it. And this is Veil of Shadows by Catherine Cook. An epic of sorcery and passion, adventure and power. And this is Birds of Prey by David Drake. And this is Gothic, The Late Contessa, Easy Eye Gothic by Dorothy Fletcher. And I found 3 of the rabbi novels, mystery novels by Harry Kimmelman. This is Sunday, the Rabbi Stayed Home. Monday, the Rabbi Took Off. And Friday, the Rabbi Slept Late. And then a Sherry S. Tepper. This is The Flight of Maven Many-Shaped. Book 2 of the story of the most famous shapeshifter of them all. I think I may already have this because it seems like I have the this trilogy. So I may have bought a double, but I'm not sure. I didn't recognize the cover. So we'll see. Then another anthology. This is Elf Fantastic, edited by Martin Greenberg. And me and my wife, we also collect fairy tales, folk tales, anything like that. And this is Hawaiian folk tales. Then we have a Mary Roberts Reinhardt episode of The Wandering Knife. And The Nanny by Evelyn Piper, the world-famous novel of horror and suspense, now an electrifying motion picture. This is an Andre Norton. I am getting incredibly close to completing my Andre Norton bibliography. This is one of her murder mysteries, Sneeze on Sunday. This was originally released as Murder for Sale. Neither Andre Norton or Grace Allen Hogarth liked that title, so that was later re-released as Sneeze on Sunday. The original title was decided by the publisher, not by them. So they re-released it as Sneeze on Sunday. This next one is a movie novelization of a terrible movie, but that's never stopped me from buying them anyway. This is the old Dungeons and Dragons movie, novelized by Neil Barrett Jr. We'll hope that the novelization is better than the movie actually was. But this is another. This is actually was novel first. This is Millennium by John Barley. This was turned into the motion picture starring Chris Christopherson and Cheryl Ladd, I believe. This is a modern Gothic, Dark Cries of Grey Oaks by Lee Carr. And by modern, I mean it has a barcode. That's my idea of modern. And then we have Murder on Usher's Planet by by Knoll. Somebody, A.A. Knoll. We'll just call them A.A. Knoll. The exciting new stellar mystery from the author of The Duchess of Knee Deep. So a sci-fi mystery novel is what I'm getting. This is Phyllis Whitney, known for a lot of her Gothics, but I think this might be just a straight up romance. I'm not sure, but that is a beautiful cover regardless. And I'm not sure how much, if it's Gothic, mystery, or just straight up romance, but. And same with this one. This is a suspense romance mystery. This is Dorothy Eden, The Marriage Chest. Then we have a couple of TV tie-in novels. This is from an old Western TV show that I used to love called Alias Smith and Jones. And this is Dragooned. And Trick Shot, both written by Brian Fox. We have The Unexpected Mrs. Polifax by Dorothy Gilman, also now a major motion picture starring Rosalind Russell. This one is of importance to nobody but me. So, like I said, I'm collecting all of Andre Norton's bibliography. This is her second of two romance novels that she wrote with Enid Cushing. This is Caroline. And another novelization of a movie I love. This is the Cheyenne Social Club that starred Jimmy Stewart, Henry Fonda, and Shirley Jones. This is a Western about James Stewart character and Henry Fonda's character are cowhands driving cattle, and Jimmy Stewart gets news that his brother is passed away and has left him an estate. When he goes to Cheyenne, he finds out that the estate is a brothel. This is a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Um, Back to sci-fi, we have a piece of Martin Can by Lawrence M. Janifer with a beautiful pulpy cover. All laws of science and medicine are changed. Now we enter the minds and bodies of our patients, and we too are changed utterly. A startling, horrifying, visionary adventure in the world of the future. This is by Mel Gilden, who I've never heard of, but this is Tubular Android Superheroes. And Arthur C. Clarke I did not have. This is The Space Dreamers. Not the best cover in the world, but this is another one I got at Uncle Aldo's. This is Bengal Fire by Lawrence Blockman, which I got again mainly because, like I said, I will always pick up a map back whenever I see it. And Bruce Boxleitner, who was in Babylon 5 and Scarecrow and Mrs. King. I didn't realize that he wrote a couple of science fiction novels, not just science fiction novels, but science fiction westerns. And I checked because I thought, did he really write it or did he have a ghostwriter? But evidently he really wrote them. It's called the Frontier Earth series. I think there are two novels. This is the second one called Searcher. So, westerns and aliens. And now I need to find the first one, which I believe is just called Frontier Earth. But I was excited that I was a fan of Babylon 5. This is Elizabeth Gouge, The Little White Horse, a magical storyteller's timeless classic. And this is First in Time by Rex Gordon, One Man's Trip Beyond Doomsday. And this one is coming apart. I need to re-glue the cover, but this is Time Gladiator by Mac Reynolds. Then I have some Agatha Christie. This is The Boomerang Clue. NRM. Murder in Retrospect. And Murder in the Calais Coach. Some of these I think I showed off on, I think it might have been Jeff's live stream. I'm also hearing Jim at Mr. Mayhem talk about Nero Wolfe and Rex Stout, and his enthusiasm has got me intrigued. I've never read Nero Wolfe before, but I was able to find quite a few in the past month. This is the second confession. The Rubber Band. The Broken Vase or Vase. Plot It Yourself. A Family Affair. Some Buried Caesar. Before Midnight. And because I really don't pay attention when I'm out and about, I have 2 copies of Black Orchids. And a Lloyd Alexander that I was not aware of. This is Westmark. This is not fantasy, I don't believe. I think this is straight up adventure. And I also collect, I'm trying to collect all of C.M. Kornbluth, both his science fiction as well as the stuff that he wrote under various pen names. One of those pen names was Jordan Park. I recently saw Andrea at Infinite Text show off a book she got called Sorority House. That one's still on my list. I haven't found it yet. But I did find a book that is incredibly hard to find and usually crazy expensive, but I was able to find it in a lot. This is Half by Jordan Park. What was his body's dark secret that made him neither man nor woman? And C.M. Kornbluth, I'll do a deeper dive on him, but he was a very talented writer who died incredibly young from a heart attack while he was running to catch a train, or a subway, I think, because he was supposed to have a meeting that day to become an editor of, I forget the name of the magazine. And I think he was only in his 30s, if I remember correctly. On the horror front, this is Spawn of the Winds by Brian Lumley. In the terrifying tradition of H.P. Lovecraft, the unholy universe was ruled by the Windwalkers. Then the outcasts set forth. It's a great cover art there by Boris Vallejo. So this was a play that was later adapted into the movie by Gore Vidal. It's Visit to a Small Planet. This is the movie tie-in version starring Jerry Lewis. Don't judge me. This was another one I think I got at Uncle Aldo's attic. It is The Death Riders by Elliot O'Donnell. Blood-chilling story of black magic, sorcery, and intrigue concerning Shadna Rana, the greatest sorcerer of all time. Another one that will probably be making its way to my wife's collection, it's The Highwayman by Noel B. Gerson. All men feared, all women loved. The Highwayman. Then we have The Curse of the Bronze Lamp by Carter Dixon, aka John Dixon Carr. I know I showed these on somebody's channel, but these ones I picked up because I'm always seeing Nick at the Book Graveyard. Loves the Assignment series, Sam Terrell by Edward S. Aarons. And these were all at a Goodwill for, well, they were 99 cents, but with discount I ended up getting for 75 cents a piece, so I wasn't going to pass it up. This is Assignment Afghan Dragon. Assignment Sumatra. Assignment Helene. She was climbing so hard in those caves that her shirt fell off. Assignment Unicorn. Assignment Lowlands. Assignment Zorea. And Assignment Mermaid. These next two books I'm blaming on Brian at Bad Taste Books. They are first a Which Way book, Choose Your Own Adventure, Vampires, Spies, and Alien Beings. And another, this is Escape. And then we have Rogue Royal by Don O'Hara. Anne McCaffrey, The Mark of Merlin. Daphne du Maurier, My Cousin Rachel. I've said it many times. I collect Daphne du Maurier wherever I can find her. And E. Nesbit, The Book of Dragons. I'm just going to go through these really fast. I found a whole bunch of Julian May. We have Sky Trillium, Magnificat, Sagittarius Whorl, The Surveillance, The Many-Colored Lands. I already have this. I already have the whole Pliocene Exile series, so this is a duplicate, but it came in the lot. The Meta Concert, Perseus Spur, Blood Trillium, Orion Arm, Diamond Mask, and Jack the Bodiless. And like I said, I have the rest of the Pliocene series. So I think she didn't have a lot of output when it comes to adult nonfiction, but I believe the only thing I'm missing of hers is the Brilliant Moon trilogy, and then I'll have all of her adult fiction novels. Another Gothic, this is Bellwood by Elizabeth Ogilvy. Piers Anthony, Through the Ice with Robert Cornwise. Another Mary Roberts Reinhardt. This is The Window at the White Cat. And then I have some Mickey Spillane's. This might be a duplicate, Survival Zero. I feel like I already have that one. One Lonely Night. And The Twisted Thing. Then we have Stories of Suspense, which also has Daphne du Maurier's The Birds, Nine Tales of the Weird, The Incredible. And you can see the lineup there. Also have a Shirley Jackson in there, Jack Finney, Margaret St. Clair, John D. MacDonald, The Drowner, one of the most ingenious and compelling murder stories in years. Another John D. MacDonald, Dresser in Indigo. I might have this in a collection of John D. MacDonald, I'm not sure. And the same with this, Darker Than Amber. The Son of Tarzan, Edgar Rice Burroughs. And I've said before, I'm a fan of the TV show Maverick. So I found this old Dell paperback, Poker According to Maverick. I'm pretty sure Maverick did not actually write this, but I don't know why I'm buying a book on how to learn how to play poker, but well, I know why, because it has a picture of Brett and Bart Maverick on it. That's reason enough, really. This is a Marilyn Ross, Gothic, The Phantom of Bell Acres, Marilyn Ross, aka W.E.D. Ross. Another Gothic, and we'll be talking a lot about Marilyn Ross here in just a second. This one is Rare Science Fiction, edited by Ivan Howard. I'll need to find out whether or not Jake has this one. Put in my submission for Rolling Shorties. Also have two of the Alfred Hitchcock anthologies, More Stories to Stay Awake By. And A Hangman's Dozen. Then another matte back. This is Cats Prowl at Night by A.A. Fair. Another Bertha Cool mystery, Earl Stanley Gardner. And another matte back. Then we have Nine Tales of Space and Time, edited by Raymond J. Healy. And we have the authors on the back there. Now, I've talked before about the show Dark Shadows, the old gothic vampire supernatural soap opera that used to be on in the 60s. Well, there were a total of 33 books written by Marilyn Ross, aka W.E.D. Ross, that were tie-ins to the show. Of those, They also made a feature film out of Dark Shadows called The House of Dark Shadows, which he wrote the novelization for. Of all of them, this is the only one that's fairly accurate to the film, that is an actual novelization. The rest of them for the TV show, he famously just told new stories, just using the characters' names and the locations, and so these are original stories. Um, we have. I'm going to go through these quick because they're all here in a set. This is Dark Shadows, Victoria Winters, Strangers at Collins House, The Mystery of Collinwood, The Curse of Collinwood, Barnabas Collins, The Secret of Barnabas Collins, The Demon of Barnabas Collins, The Foe of Barnabas Collins, The Phantom and Barnabas Collins, Barnabas Collins versus the Warlock, The Peril of Barnabas Collins, Barnabas Collins and the Mysterious Ghost, Barnabas Collins and Quentin's Demon, Barnabas Collins and the Gypsy Witch, Barnabas Quentin and the Mummy's Curse. Quentin later came on the show a little bit later. He was the one who was the werewolf in the show. Barnabas Quentin and the Avenging Ghost, Barnabas Quentin and the Nightmare Assassin, Barnabas Quentin and the Crystal Coffin, Barnabas Quentin and the Witch's Curse, Barnabas Quentin and the Haunted Cave, Barnabas Quentin and the Frightened Bride. Oh, I made a mistake in having to read all of these off. Barnabas Quentin and the Scorpio Curse, Barnabas Quentin and the Serpent, Barnabas Quentin and the Magic Potion, Barnabas Quentin and the Body Snatchers, Barnabas Quentin and Dr. Jekyll's Son, Barnabas Quentin and the Grave Robbers, Barnabas Quentin and the Sea Ghost, Barnabas Quentin and the Mad Magician, Barnabas Quentin and the Hidden Tomb, and finally, the last book in the series, Barnabas Quentin and the Vampire Beauty. So these are all of the original run novels from the TV show. There are also 4 novels by Laura Parker, which I'll be getting to later. But that's it. That completes my original Dark Shadows group of tie-in novels. I bought those a lot. I already had 11 of them, so I had like a third of them. I knew it was going to be impossible to track down one by one all of them, but there was a new seller on eBay who was offering them as a lot for a pretty reasonable price. I bid lower just because I already had 11, so I tried to make it make sense for what 22 of the books would have cost. And I was surprised. I thought he or she, I'm not really sure, would turn down the offer, but they immediately accepted it. Not only did they accept it, but they threw in the DVD of Dark Shadows, the Revival. This was a remake of the show in the 90s. It didn't last very long because I believe it was a writer's strike. So it ended up getting canceled pretty quick. But it's a 3-disc set of the 90s version, Dark Shadows, the Revival, which he just threw in to the lot. So I thought that was a good deal. It does mean that I have some extra double Dark Shadow books. So if people are interested in Dark Shadows tie-in novels, let me know. So that takes care of all the mass market. Now, I also have 3 boxes of hardbacks, trade paperbacks, oversized books, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do that as a part 2 because my voice isn't going to last that long. So I'm going to call it there for this one, and we'll have a part 2 that shows all the rest of them. Thank you for hanging out for that, and we'll see you for part 2.